Identity. This topic interests me most as I believe it lies at the core of my deepest insecurities. Who we portray ourselves to be often depends on where we are, our intent to be there, or whom we are with. Now, this, to one degree or another, is ubiquitous across the population. But to those with hidden ailments, epilepsy, chronic illness, people with addiction and alcoholics, PTSD, and the like, I believe its propensity to occur and the degree to which it expresses itself would be statistically significant. As a child, I remember that at 6 years old, at our small town high school, my mother sang and acted out different characters as she rehearsed with friends on stage. She was so happy. I recall my parents' change in behaviors after the divorce, my father's change in dress and speech as he moved up professionally in authority, and my mother's stress on etiquette, mannerisms, and presentation. I can't help but think I observed their effectiveness and applied them to survive, and I can't help but consider how so many others who have experienced trauma in their life have as well. The social mask we wear and the development of those characters, it can be an addiction in itself, the test of a characteristic and the observation of effect. Our once whole identity is now a shattered piece of pottery, put back together with adhesive and painted to reflect our environment's current fad for social consumption. Just who would we be if we left that piece on the table and walked out that door? Something beautiful? There are people I've known my whole life that don't know anything of what I've said in this video, or just a part, not the story, carefully selected clips from the reel composed to express strength rather than vulnerability. They see accomplishments and know nothing of the setbacks, and sadly, many of these learned behaviors have been reinforced throughout the years. One employer I looked up to dearly once said, "Charles, if you're not an asset, you're a liability." They found out I had epilepsy. I was criticized by supervision, transferred, and fired for leaving early for a family emergency in a week. I became that liability. Things like that and betrayal stick with us. All I've ever tried, and many do, is to be that asset and give even more of myself than others, hoping those efforts will be remembered if and when something happens to me. I carried that for a long, long time. Many of us want to be vulnerable and honest, but those like me fear the day we become that liability and burden on others. It's shame. That shame is like stain added to glass, forever changing our perception and affecting everything, including our personal and professional relationships. Who we are when we walk out that door and who we are when we walk in are two entirely different people. So, I guess this is me, hoping they can meet next time I open that door. Me being vulnerable in hopes of bringing an end to that strife. In sincerity, Charles Randolph.